Welcome to Threads of Enlightenment, your journey into personal growth. The splendor of any decision is after you've made it. All that remains to be seen are its consequences. My name is Ken Primus. I am your host. Here at Threads of Enlightenment, we talk about the principles of self-development and personal growth. By having conversation with people who have walked through their journey of personal growth. We believe that everyone at some point in their life will have to deal with one or more of these principles to have the privilege of focusing on their self-development as humans. These principles, when applied, can help you to become the best self possible. Welcome to another episode of Threads of Enlightenment. My name is Ken Primus. I am your host. In this episode, we're going to deal with discovering your gifts. And many of us have lived our lives without ever knowing what that gift is and how to live from it and how it can help us to obtain peace of mind, joy, and all the other things that comes with that. I know that we're going to go and take a look and see the difference between talent and gifts. And so there are two different things, and it's very important that we understand which is which and how it applies to our life. When you take a look at some of our athletes out there, Michael Jordan and all the other basketball and sports figures and musicians, you'll see that some of them operate in a gift that they have, because not everyone that plays basketball is gifted in playing basketball. Same goes to singing. Same goes for golf, same goes for business, anything that can be gifted in so many different things, but we tend to focus on sports and so forth, but they're very gifted businessmen and women out there. They're very gifted people that are in small positions and so forth. And if you ever get a chance to talk to those people, you'll see that there's just joy in what they do. They're excited. There's a passion. And so what we're going to do is talk about discovering your gift in this particular podcast. And so that you and I can continue our journey in our personal growth to become mature human spirits. So right after this break, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Threads of Enlightenment. We were talking about gifts, and it is my belief that everyone have a gift. And let me give you an example. If you look at a basketball player, even some singers, they have the talent, but they're also gifted in playing. Michael Jackson is a perfect example. Here's this man that is talented, and his gift was he was a performer. He's able to perform. You have different singers out there that can sing, but they have a talent for singing. But some of them you know that they're gifted as a singer. So it is my belief that we all have that gift, but it's our responsibility to kind of go inside and find out what it is. But I do believe that everyone have a gift, and the question is, everyone is always trying to look for something. But as I used to say to my children, was close your eyes and picture yourself, you're the richest person on the planet. What would you do? And those are the type of questions that I'd ask my kids. And, of course, the stuff is I'll spend this, buy that, but I tell them no. I need to look a little deeper than just that surface stuff. What would you do with your time? What would you do? What would make you happy? Where's your passion? And those are the type of questions that I ask them and cause them to dig deeper. And today, my sons, I have 5 boys, they're doing their passion. I used to say to them, find your passion and be passionate about it. And so, I would also tell them and said, look, if you want to be a garbage man, be passionate about it and learn how to be the best that you can. Find out how you can utilize your gift of loving to deal with garbage. As a garbage man, how can you sustain your family and yourself to a place where you can enjoy yourself and be joyous and so forth? And one of the things that I would say is that the time you spend in this world not looking for your gift is only a lifetime. And so there's lots of people out there that haven't even began to even consider that. They just, as they say, plugged into the matrix and never really unplug. But as you begin to dig deeper into this aspect of your gifts and what it is and how to obtain it, how to find it, you will learn to be very effective, and you can help people to find theirs. As I mentioned before, your gift is a little different than a talent, but how you find it is by asking yourself questions. You have to have probing questions in your life. I talked about an example one time. Why am I here? So I mentioned in the opening of my podcast, someone asked the Dalai Lama that, and the Dalai Lama said, that's not the question. The question is, why, is a little more different than that. What is my, purpose, and all this kind, my meaning to life, actually, that's what it is. What's the meaning to life? And he says, no, that's not the right question. Well, what is my life? What is the meaning of my life? So what is your contribution? And so you need to look and find your gift, and you do that by asking yourself questions. Look at things that you're good at. Things, but even beyond that, things that make you joyful. Close your eyes. You're rich. What are the things that make you joyful? Some people, it's sculpting. Some people, it's painting, art, different things. Your goal in this life is to find your purpose. I have a saying that I always tell people: purpose to the spirit is like wind to a storm. It gives it direction. And so this is what your gift does. It gives you purpose. And it is your responsibility to begin to look deep into yourself. And like I said, these things is questions. You have, I know Martin Luther King, you talk about those men, when they found what their purpose is and was, and their gift, the gift of their, speaking to people in leadership. You have Malcolm X. He was in prison, and then when he came out, he found his gift, and it took him to all around the world, and he changed the lives of men and women all over the world Martin Luther, as I mentioned, the same thing. Mandela, all these men and women. You look at Tiger Woods, as I mentioned, these guys, some people, you get to know that from when they are children. And I believe that's where it usually starts. And what happens to us is that our parents, our grandparents in school and all these kind of places kind of beat those things out of us and kind of start programming us certain ways. And we kind of lose it all in there and get caught up in that, you come out of school, you get into college, you graduate, you get children, you have, your job, you have the white picket fence with the dog and the cat and the whole 9 yards, and you live your life and you don't even know anything about yourself. And so the most important thing in your life is to find your gift that you have been given. And that gift will help you in your life dictate the deepness of who you are. And it causes you to dig way beyond the superficial stuff, the lies that you tell yourself, and that you listen to people. But my advice that I gave to my kids and I did in my life was I began to meditate. I began to ask myself the questions. I began to close my eyes and began to ask, what is it that makes me happy? What is it that brings me joy? What do I love to do? What is it that gets me excited? Those are the type of questions. Another question that you ask yourself is, what are the things I hate to do? And you kind of kind of start to fine tune the things that you're leaning towards. It is your responsibility to find out your gift. What did you like to spend time doing when you were a child? What do you like to spend time doing as an adult? Those type of things. What's important about your life? Look at your assets, your strengths, your weaknesses. Inquire, ask your friends, ask family, how do you see me? What do you think? And as you begin to listen to some of those answers, then you go back into yourself and find out, because it's very important, because as you begin to develop your gift, you will bring, you get stronger at it. You will be able to help people that are in a weak place. Again, and everything at this site is for you to grow, and that you would become stronger in times to help someone else. I believe that the world would be a better, improved place once you as an individual find your gift. And because from that, you will be able, it brings you joy, but trust me, it will also bring people joy when they see someone operating in their gift. It's a part of the voyeurism, as I mentioned, the collective voyeurism that we're all a part of. We're looking at each other, and that's where some of us make our mistakes. We look at someone's life and we want that life, and that's their life, that's not yours. Learn how to find what makes you tick as an individual, because it's important. Your family's destiny could be tied into it, and so it becomes very important that you begin to look for it. And usually the spirit of the person is restless when you have no purpose, and when it's not known that people do a lot of things to damage their life from this place because they haven't tapped in to the gift of who they are. But what we'll do is take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Threads of Enlightenment. We were talking about the gifts as far as getting to know what your gift is. And we talked about the difference between a gift and talent. Some people have the talent to sing. Anyone can learn how to sing, where you have the talent, but some people are just definitely gifted in singing. And I know I am one of those that are not gifted in singing, but it is our responsibility, as I mentioned before, to get to find out what that gift is. And I mentioned to you earlier that I used several exercises with my kids when they were coming up as young men, to close their eyes and look within themselves to find out what that gift is. And but you can look outside of yourself as well. I mean, look at people that you are fascinated with. Some of the people that you can identify with, some of the things that they do. I know one of the places that people do get a chance to recognize where their gift is located and what it is through adversity. And so all the things that happen in our life, we have to take it into account and use it to investigate, to become a better human spirit. But most of what we are to do within this particular process is asking questions, asking yourself, asking your friends, about, what do they see, get some feedback from close friends that will tell you the truth, and that will help you to get a chance to learn more about you and see what people think about you. It's really an interesting exercise to do, to ask people what they think about you, because you have a perception of what they think about you, but what they literally think about you is a different thing. Another place to look for is look into your family, and you can see some of the things within your family. I know in most cases, a family can be a source of discomfort, but again, the idea behind that is that you are trying to find out what your gift is, and the reason why you're doing that is so that you can begin to live from that space. When you're living from your gift, then the things, the hours that you do, that you put in, it's not work. That taste of burnout is not a part of it, because you're doing something that you actually love and that you have a gift to do. And most people burn out because they're not living from their gift. They're just working or just living. And that's always a problem in personal growth. And you can see that, like I said, I've been in healthcare and the business realm, corporate America realm, and I have seen gifted businessmen and women. I've seen gifted marketers. I've seen gifted salespeople. I've seen gifted nurses. You can tell the difference between a nurse that is doing something that she or he is gifted about, because a lot of people, I've seen people go and study to become a nurse. But when you're in a hospital and you're in that setting, you can tell the difference between one that just studied to be a nurse or one that is gifted to be a nurse. and it's not anything that you cannot see. It's just wide open, and you can see the joy, the difference of how that person cares for you from one who is gifted, from one who's just doing it for work or for whatever. But I have a little nugget that I tell everyone. It says, finding your purpose should be one of your first priorities in this life. And in our society, how we program our children, and I tried not to do that with mine, was, because I was programmed, and that was you go to school, you get good grades, you go to college, you get good grades, you come out, you find a job, you work hard, you marry someone. The next thing you know, you have your house with your white picket fence and your 2 dogs and all the cats and all the different things, and you've missed your life. And so it becomes important once you have started your journey to begin to question everything about yourself, question everything that you were taught, and to find and locate that gift that you have. And that gift will be able to sustain you. It will be able to provide for you and your family. It may open doors for you that you would never believe would be open if you did not pursue and live from your gift. And I think our Creator did that so that you and I would, once we have located that particular gift that was placed in us, that we would find it, we would develop it, and that we would live from it, and the joy and the excitement, the passion, all these things would drive us, and we would become successful in the things that we do. So, my advice to you and to everyone is the same thing that I told my kids. Find some quiet time, lay down, close your eyes, pretend that you have all the money in the world. I mean, you've gotten everything you ever wanted. Now, what do you really want to do? What excites you? What brings you passion? And the passion that is so excited, that makes you so excited that you will do anything to make it happen. One of the things that I would stress to my children as they were growing up was I wanted them to search themselves and learn about their passion, and that if I say to them, no, don't do this, that they felt strong enough that if this is the thing that they want, that they would look me straight in the eye and says, no, this is what I believe I was brought here to do. And I wanted them to get to that place, because if you can get to that place, then you have begun your journey. And so it is my pleasure to continue to walk with you in this podcast, Threads of Enlightenment, that you and I will grow. The purpose is for us to grow, because I remember when I started this book, and I remember my journey and becoming a mature human spirit, that it was in my dark places that I began to see some light as to who I am, what my talents were, what my weaknesses were, what my strengths were. And out of that place, I knew where my gifts are. And so I began to develop my gift so that I can be able to share everything that I am so that that person or that other human spirit would gather information and gain their freedom. Because there's nothing more beautiful than looking at someone that is free from all the things that hold them down. And so find your gift and be passionate about it to the point that where it will keep you up day and night, and people are going to look at you and say, hey, man, how much time do you spend doing that? And you're like, it is not enough time. I want more time. So take time to look inside your heart and locate your universe. And until next time, continue your journey and be, as one of my friends, he always said to me, be the best you. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Until next time, bye. Everyone who's listening to this broadcast, we hope to continually help you to learn how to embrace moments of darkness, because it is in the darkness that we learn how to develop and use our abilities to truly see those parts of ourselves often invisible to us in the light. It becomes your responsibility to navigate through all of your trials, to find out who you truly are and begin your journey to loving yourself, which is possibly one of the most difficult things you will ever do in your life. To love yourself and to find the real you. But always remember to enjoy the journey. Thank you for coming by. Please subscribe. And if you can support us financially, we deeply appreciate it. You can do this by hitting the heart button. Until next time, invite your family, friends, neighbors, anyone that you can. You can hear us on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Overcast, and many more.